Okay, so harnessing the collective wisdom of the room. There's 4,300 collective years of dental experience in this room. That's some powerful stuff. There probably isn't a problem in your practices that somebody else in this room hasn't encountered and solved. Additionally, with 4,300 years of collective dental experience, there probably isn't a problem in dentistry as a profession that we couldn't collectively solve if we were collaborating and focusing our efforts. If they locked the doors all the way around us and said, you guys can't leave here for a week until you solve all of these problems in dentistry, and we got organized and we figured out how to focus all of the wisdom in this room, we would be able to solve all of the problems in dentistry in a week. No doubt. 4,300 years of collective dental wisdom. The problem is, we are not the collaborating types. Dentistry was not built on collaboration. If you think about the way that we were built in undergrad, it was very competitive, right? I mean, how many of you guys were in classes that were graded on a bell-shaped curve? You know, you walk into a room and there's 100 people in the room and the instructor says, hey, listen, 8 of you are getting A's, 12 of you are getting B's, the rest of you are getting C's, D's, and F's. That happens in dental school too. That is not conducive to collaboration. If you get your hands on a test in dental school, you know that the gunners were not sharing that test from the previous years. The gunners knew that they had to be number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the class to get that ortho residency, and they were not sharing. If they got any edge, they were keeping it to themselves. Sorry for you gunners that are in the room. There's a lot of gunners in this room. You probably did that. Not conducive to collaboration. That's the way that we were raised in our profession. That's the way that people became successful in our profession. So how, when you graduate and you get into your own practice in these smaller communities, what happens is our peer group becomes other dentists in our area, right? Other dentists in our area become our peer groups. And there's a finite number of patients. There's a finite number of resources in that particular area. So your peer group becomes people that are your direct competitors. So you have this history in undergrad, you have this history in dental school, you have this history when you graduate and nobody's sharing. What happens is we become very, very isolated and siloed. I think that we can all see that, and we are all part of this, probably this machine that has perpetuated this isolation and this anti-collaboration theme throughout the profession, right? This is kind of how we were raised and how we live our lives. That is why it's my mission to get to a point where we change the complete paradigm of dentistry. That's what's so special about DSI and DSN. It's that fact that we don't have to be that way anymore. We don't have to isolate ourselves, and we don't have to be competitive to the degree that we feel isolated and that we are eliminating ourselves from a lot of the benefits of sharing best practices. You know, when we get into the room, excuse me, in one of our mastermind sessions, excuse me, first things first, leave your ego at the door. Everybody has something to contribute to. Next stage is that everybody shares their best stuff. We're not holding anything back. There's no reason to withhold any document, any system, any marketing strategy. We share it all, and that's the secret sauce. Because together, we are all better than we are individually. So 4,300 collective years of dental experience in the room is only powerful if you embrace this mindset. If not, we're just a bunch of silos. We're a bunch of people that have 5 to 25 to 35 years of individual dental experience, and we're living with this tiny little lens, viewing the world through our own lens. I've owned 16 dental practices. That is a teeny sample size. If I was counting on myself alone to perpetuate my business, I would fail. And that's 16 dental practices. Once we embrace this idea of collaboration, sharing best practices, the abundance mindset, gratitude, generosity, that is when you make it to the next level. And unless you find a community like this, it doesn't have to be this community. I don't know many others that exist. But unless you find a community like this, or at least a handful of accountability partners that think the same way, you will be stuck where you are. It's not about the information that I'm going to give you over the next 15 and a half hours now. It's about whether or not you have a powerful community that will support you, hold you accountable. That's the secret sauce.